Welcome to Archaeversity online classes. In this lecture, I'm going to explain you how to run simple linear regression in IBM SPSS. Along with that, I also explain you the output of a simple linear regression which IBM SPSS displays to you. Furthermore, I also explain you what are the various assumptions that you need to check or verify before running a simple linear regression and how to check these assumptions in IBM SPSS. Simple linear regression addresses the prediction of one variable based on the other variable. Assuming that you have two variables, let us say variable x and y. That means x, with the help of x, you can be able to predict a y. So this can be done with the help of a simple linear regression. Unlike bivariate correlation analysis where two variables have the same status, in regression analysis, two variables play different roles. Now here, what are the different roles that these two variables play here is that one variable acts as a predicted. We can also call this as a response variable, or also called as dependent variable or a criterion variable or a outcome variable, which is generally denoted as y. So that means when we say that y, so y is your dependent variable, response variable, predicted or outcome or a criterion. So this is one. And next is that the other variable, we call this as a predict. In the sense, this variable is used to predict your y. So predict variable is also called as explanatory variable, or this is also called as an independent variable, or also called as a predictor, and this is denoted as x. Now in a regression equation, say suppose you for independent variable is x and your dependent variable is y. That means we are using to predict y given x. Alright. Now what are the assumptions that we have in running a simple linear regression are that now your two variables should be measured on the continuous level. In the sense, there may be either on a interval scale or on a ratio. Next, there need to be a linear relationship between these two variables. So unless otherwise you have a linear relationship, you will not be able to run a simple linear regression. To know the linear relationship in SPSS, you can use the correlation function, and you can identify whether there is a linear relationship between these two variables or not. In addition to that, you can also go for a XY scatter plot. So using these two, you can identify the linear relationship between the variables. Next is there should not be significant outliers in your data set. Outliers, as you know, that the extreme values. To identify outliers in your data set, you can use a box plot, or simply you can use a explore function of the SPSS. Using this, you can identify the outliers. Next is that you should have an independence of observations. When we're saying that independence of observations, that means each case should be independent from the other case. This can be identified with the help of a Durbin-Watson statistics in SPSS. That is, while running your regression equation, you can opt for Durbin-Watson statistics, and which gives you the value, and based on which you can identify whether the data is independent or not. Next, your data needs to show homoscedasticity. So this homoscedasticity, which is a variance between along the line of a best fit, remains similar as you move along the line. So you can use this with the QQ plots. Then finally, you need to check with the residuals, that is the errors of the regression line are approximately normally distributed or not. So here we need to check the errors, that is the residuals, to be normally distributed or not. If errors are normally distributed, then your model is a good fit model. Now how is it you are going to identify the residuals are that, and what are exactly the residuals mean? The residuals are the actual value of dependent variable, this minus the value predicted by the regression equation. In SPSS, you can also have the predicted values. So you can save the predicted values, and then you can compare actual value with the predicted value to know the residuals. And these residuals, there are multiple types of residuals are there. We focus on two. One is unstandardized residuals, and the second one is a standardized residuals. So unstandardized residuals are the difference between an observed value and the value of a predicted by the model. This is unstandardized. Whereas a standardized residual, the residual divided by an estimate of its standard deviation. Now standardized residuals, which are also known as Pearson residuals, have a mean value of a 0 and a standard deviation of 1. In a sense, once you are running an IBM SPSS, you can save your unstandardized residuals and standardized residuals. After running the model, then you can go for explore option to check whether the mean has a 0 and a standard deviation of 1 or not. If it is these two are there, then we can say that the data, that is your residuals, are normally distributed, which indicates that the model can be used to predict y based on the input values of x. Now I'll show you an example on how to run this. Here we have a data set. Now this data set is the same, that is establishment type, that is a retail establishments in US, then the number of employees and quarterly benefits and annual benefits. So here we are making an assumption that the number of retail trade establishments in US have impact on quarterly benefits to the society. So that means the more retail trade establishments will emerge in the economy, the more will be the quarterly benefits. So our independent variable is a retail trade or explanatory variable, and our dependent variable or response variable is quarterly benefits to the society. So first what is that we do is we check for assumptions. Our first assumptions is outliers and data is normally distributed or not. So for that what we do is go to descriptives and then explore. Here we are talking about a retail trade establishment. Select this one, send to dependent list. Then quarterly benefits to the society, select this one and send to the dependent list. And here in our statistics, identify the outliers or select the outliers, click continue, and in a plots, instead of stem and leaf, check histogram, and then a normality plots with the tests. So click continue, then click OK. So here is the output. Then the total number of cases are 428. Then we look at the descriptors here. For a retail trade, we pay attention on a skewness and kurtosis. The skewness value is 0.192 and kurtosis is 0.38, which are very close to 0. So based on that, we can say that the data is normally distributed. Similarly, quarterly benefits, the skewness is 0.5 and kurtosis value is 0.14, which are again very close to 0, which indicates that the data is normally distributed. And you have extreme values here, test of normality. Obviously, you find that the significance value of a 0.2 and Shapiro-Wilk test of 0.264, which indicates that the data is normally distributed. And here you have a histogram, then QQ plot, then your box plot. Here in a box plot, you find open circles here. Few these are appears to be outliers, but not exactly extreme values, because these open circles are 1.5 times of your interquartile range, so which can be a manageable one. So you don't need to worry about these outliers. The next you have is histogram, then quarterly results for the benefits to the society. Here also the same. You don't find any extreme values or outliers. This is done. That means there are no extreme values or outliers in the data set. Then the data appears to be normally distributed based on your skewness value, kurtosis value, and Shapiro-Wilk test and Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Next is that we need to check whether the data is normally distributed, that is there is a linear relationship between data or not. So for that, we run a bivariate relationship. Here retail trade and then quarterly benefits. After selecting these two, correlation coefficient Pearson is by default. Then flag significant correlations is also by default, and two-tail statistics. Click OK. Now, and you find that there is a significant positive correlation between these two variables, that is a 0.55, and which is a significant, which indicates that there is a linear relationship between these variables. So after meeting these assumptions, now we move to the regression analysis. So to get a regression analysis, click on analyze from menu command, then go to regression, then linear regression. Now here your dependent variable is quarterly benefits to the society. Select this one and send it to dependent list. Then you have a retail trade establishments. This is your explanatory variable or independent variable. Select this one and send to independent variables list. So here you have a statistics. From statistics, model fit, then also check for descriptives. Then you don't need a collinearity because you have only one independent variable. Then you have a Durbin-Watson test here to check the residuals. Select this one, click continue. Then you have a plots. So if you want the plots for these things, you can identify. Otherwise, it will not make much difference. Standardized residual plots, if you want, you can check the normal probability, because this helps you to identify the homoscedasticity of your data. So click continue, then save. Here from residuals, save unstandardized residuals and standardized residuals. Then Mahalanobis distance is not required because there are only two variables. Then predicted values, if you want to have a predicted values to be saved, you can save just by clicking unstandardized predicted values. Then click continue. Then options, your probability, if you are checking at 0.05 significance level, okay. Then click continue. Then finally click OK push button here in a linear regression window. Now here you have a output for your simple linear regression. So your descriptive statistics are here. Then the correlation between the variables 0.51. Then variables entered and removed. So here you have a model summary. This is a correlation is 0.55 and R square value is 0.34. So this R square value explains you the significance of determination, also called as significant value of a determination, which means with this, with a probability of 0.30, that is a 30% chances are there to predict your independent variable based on the dependent variable. So your Durbin-Watson statistics is 1.46, which says that the data is normally it is a homoscedasticity. Now you look at the analysis of variance. Significance value is 0.55 and F value is very high, that is 185.61, which indicates that the model is statistically significant. And here you have a coefficient values. So look at the retail trade. Now unstandardized beta estimation is 82.96 and t value is 13.65 and significance value is 0.00. As your significance value is less than 0.05, we can confidently say that there is a impact of X on Y, that is the number of establishments on quarterly benefits generated. So here you have a residual statistics. Now this indicates you the homoscedasticity. Now we go with the assumptions here. So Durbin-Watson statistics is significant. Then your data need to be homoscedastic, which is a variance along the line of best fit remains similar as you move along the line, which is clearly visible here. So based on this analysis, we can say that is number of establishments has significant impact on quarterly benefits given to the society, and this can be explained with a 30%, that is 0.30, that is a 30% coefficient of a determination. So based on this, we can say that the model is statistically significant. And the final one is that you need to check the residuals. So here if you go to your data series, you can find that unstandardized residuals and standardized residuals are there. Now just we go to analyze, then descriptive statistics, then explore. So reset here and send the unstandardized residuals and then your standardized residuals to the dependent list. Already statistics we mentioned. So simply click on a OK push button. Now here you have statistics. Look for a standardized residuals. Your mean value is 0 and then your standard deviation is 1. So as your mean value and standard deviation is 1, we can say that the residuals are normally distributed. This gives you the accuracy of your predicted model. That means the last assumption, that is your standardized residuals, these need to be normally distributed. So you need to check the residuals errors of the regression line are approximately normally distributed. And we can here clearly see that these are normally distributed. Even if you look at the skewness value and kurtosis values 0.329 and 0.06 and 0.329 0.06, which are very close to 0, which indicates that your data is approximately normally distributed. So based on these assumptions, whatever the regression model that we run is statistically significant and met all the assumptions required to perform a simple linear regression. So after this, we can confidently say that the model has a predictive ability. That means with the help of number of establishments in US, that is a number of retail trade establishments in US, we can predict the quarterly benefits that these establishments give to the society. So here in a data set, you have other variables also. So using those variables, you can experiment with running a simple linear regression. Thank you. Thank you for watching the lecture.